LinkedIn is a growing force for how professionals learn and communicate and so much more. The reach is also extraordinary. For more on how LinkedIn continues to evolve, it's always great to have our social media expert, Dr. Karen Sutherland, right here on Ticker News. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Very well. So I'm looking forward to talking about this. As I mentioned, I think partly I posted a couple of LinkedIn grabs from previous sort of interviews I did, and the reach of LinkedIn, like the natural reach, is remarkable. So maybe just firstly, before we talk about how it evolves, how does LinkedIn work exactly?
Well, look, it's changed a lot over the last few years. Definitely, it's now a very content-driven platform. Where before it was just like almost like a graveyard for your CV in the early days. So now it's actually driven by people sharing helpful content to try and help each other in their professions and in their working lives. So the way it works is you can post a whole range of things. So images, text, video. There's some people can apply for live video. And there's even stories on there now as well. And so the way it's pretty good in terms of reach right now, because you can use also things like hashtags. And when you tag people's names in, then most of the people in their network see the content too. So it's sort of almost Facebook early days in terms of the reach, which is really good.
Totally, and it's it's a professional medium as well, isn't it? So it's not like Twitter where you'll have people sort of fighting back and forth, or Facebook where there's a whole bunch of random stuff that's posted. I like how kind of professional it remains, at least for now anyway. Tell us about the content, this new piece that they've put together. They're evolving in a way for freelancers, I believe.
Yeah, so look, it's there's whispers around to say that LinkedIn's actually going to add some functionality. So it'll be sort of along the lines of like, say, Fiverr, where you can connect with freelancers. So and there's actually even going to be e-commerce functionality, so you can actually pay and be paid as a freelancer as well. So this is actually quite new. There was something similar in the past where LinkedIn allowed a connection between freelancers and people running projects and things, but this is like to the next level where there's actually that interaction and exchange going on.
And is there also a potential for them to develop a digital wallet which could facilitate payments as well?
Yeah, so that's what they're saying. So, and I think it's interesting because, I think last year we talked about them being actual product pages. So I wonder if there is like on the cards, like this whole e-commerce functionality that's happening with the other platforms, but this would be in a more professional sense and business sense. So it'll be around sort of employment and working with freelancers, selling products, selling courses. Who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying what they offer at the moment. And yeah, just keeping it professional, as I mentioned, is such a positive thing. Let's talk just to finish about Facebook, of course. Last week we were getting your initial reaction. Facebook changed their tune. We know how that's evolved. Ticker News is back on Facebook. We're all back on Facebook. How did you just see that evolve over, late last week?
Well, I tried to pay close attention to what was going on in the news and things like that, where I could see it though. And what it seemed to be was that what I could gather was that the government was having sort of this they wanted this open-ended agreement where they could pretty much charge anything. But I think Facebook was saying, no, we want a finite amount that we have to pay. And so I think that was one of the key things that formed the agreement and the change. So there were other things. It'd be interesting to see the finer details of this agreement as it comes to light.
Do you think, just speaking about Facebook more broadly, we know what's happened with the news. Do you think this resets a bit of a more positive relationship moving forward? Facebook have had so many issues recently. Do you think this is like, okay, we'll make this decision, now let's continue to build again? Or are they just going to continue to struggle in people's, opinions, I suppose?
I think it'll be a bit of both because the thing is, I think every now and again they like to sort of remind you how much power they have.
Yes.
So people don't like to know that, people want, it's like, you want to have a good relationship, but then if someone's constantly letting you know that, we could actually disrupt things for you, it's not going to make people feel comfortable or trust the platform very much. But I think in the short term, I think we'll be okay, but it'll be interesting to see when this sort of behavior comes to light again.
What do you use Facebook for predominantly, or what do you see its best use for out there at the moment? Because it's really evolved over time. Where do you see Facebook fitting in at the moment?
Well, it performs a lot of functions for me because I use it in my working life as a senior lecturer where we have Facebook groups for students and I share opportunities and things in there. But then in my personal life, I have another profile that I'm in contact with friends and family. And then in the business sense as well, I also have a business page for the two businesses that I run. And that helps me to run ads and keep in touch with those sort of brand communities that I'm in touch with there. So it does a lot of different things and it gets me in touch with a lot of different people.
Yeah, I'll be interested to watch to see, just in terms of the PR situation, you just get the feeling a lot of people out there, this has hurt Facebook in a way. They're so powerful, we know that. They'll have their plans moving forward, but you get the feeling they need something, good to happen over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, just for people to reset and go, okay, we kind of like Facebook again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and I think the moral of the whole story is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure if you're a business, you've got a great email list and something that you own because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, completely agree. Thank you once again for your great wrap. Enjoy your day. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.